Think about your home, your safe place. When you close your front door at night, you feel protected. You assume the wood and the locks will keep the monsters out. Most criminals want your TV. They want your wallet. If the door is locked, they'll break a window to get what they want. But Richard Chase wasn't looking for money, and he had a very specific, terrifying rule. To him, a locked door meant he was not welcome. It meant he had to walk away. But an unlocked door? An unlocked door was an invitation. It meant you were waiting for him. If you lived in Sacramento in the winter of 1977 and you forgot to lock your door, you were inviting a nightmare into your living room. Richard Chase didn't snap overnight. His descent into madness was slow, dark, and completely ignored by everyone around him. He suffered from severe delusions. He was convinced that his own heart was slowly shrinking. He believed his bones were pushing through his skin and that his stomach was rotting from the inside out. But his most terrifying delusion was about his blood. He believed it was turning into dry powder. In his twisted mind, there was only one cure. He needed fresh life to replace what he was losing. He started walking the streets at night, a pale, emaciated figure hiding in the shadows. He began with neighborhood animals, but it wasn't enough to satisfy the voices in his head. The hunger grew. The delusions became louder. He realized that to survive, he needed something human. December 1977. Richard bought a .22 caliber semi-automatic pistol. He didn't have a specific target. He didn't stalk anyone in particular. He let fate decide. He walked down quiet, peaceful residential streets. He would walk up to a house, reach out his hand, and gently twist the doorknob. Locked. He moved to the next house, locked. He moved again until he stepped onto the porch of David Wallen. He turned the handle. It clicked. The door swung open. Inside was David's pregnant wife, Teresa. Richard didn't say a word. He walked in, raised his gun, and the illusion of safety in Sacramento was shattered forever. What happened in that house over the next hour is something that seasoned police officers still refuse to talk about. He didn't just end her life, he completely defiled the concept of humanity. When he was finished, he washed his hands, walked out the front door, and vanished into the daylight, leaving behind a scene that would haunt the city for decades. The city went into full panic. Hardware stores sold out of deadbolts and window locks in hours. People stopped sleeping. But Richard was already hunting again. Less than a month later, another unlocked door, this time the home of 38-year-old Evelyn Miroth. Richard didn't just target Evelyn, he took the lives of her friend, her 6-year-old son, and kidnapped her 22-month-old nephew. When detectives finally breached the house, the smell hit them first, then the absolute suffocating silence. The scene inside was so profoundly horrific, so completely saturated with madness, that hardened veteran detectives had to drop their badges and run out into the front yard just to breathe. Some threw up in the bushes. Some just stood there crying. They knew, right then, that a monster was walking among them. But Richard wasn't a criminal genius. His mind was too broken to hide his tracks. He left muddy footprints and fingerprints all over the house. When the police finally tracked him down to his apartment, they prepared for a massive shootout. But they found something deeply ironic. The man who used unlocked doors to slaughter innocent people had heavily barricaded his own apartment. His door was locked tight. He was terrified that something was coming to get him. Richard Chase was arrested, found guilty, and sentenced to the gas chamber, but he never faced execution. In 1980, the real-life vampire hoarded his prison medication and took his own life in the dark of his cell. Richard Chase is dead, but the chilling logic of his crimes remains. There are predators out there who don't need to break in. They are just waiting for you to make one simple mistake. So, I'll ask you one more time. Are you absolutely sure that your front door is locked?